Good evening, everyone. I just thought I would come on here and do a video tonight. This morning, I woke up um, around, it was probably about 4:30ish, something like that this morning. And I had a dream, and all I seen in it was a platter that had summer fruit in it. And, uh, and then I woke up. And so as soon as I woke up, the scriptures that came to me was the Amos prophecy about the basket of summer fruit. So this right here is a picture of baskets of figs, and I believe pomegranates is in it. Um, but anyway, we're going to go over and read what God was trying to show us about the summer basket. And it's found in Amos 8, and it starts with, we'll start with verse 1. It says, "Thus hath the Lord God showed unto me, behold, a basket of summer fruit." And if you look at this, it's talking about summer fruit, but it means it has a meaning of figs. Their summer fruit was figs and pomegranates in the Bible. And you remember what Jesus said about, the generation of the fig tree, which, the parable about the fig tree. We will go over that as well. It says, "And he said, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a basket of summer fruit. And then said the Lord unto me, the end is come upon my people of Israel, and I will not pass by them anymore." And this right here, if you read this, you read all of the what this is talking about. It is talking about the end of days, at the very end of days. And because if you read on down here, it talks about it says, "The Lord hath sworn by the excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of their works. Shall not the land tremble for this? For everyone mourn therein, and it shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned as by the flood of Egypt." And it says, "Come to pass in that day, saith the Lord God, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and will darken the earth in a clear day." And it says, "And I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day." It's talking about, because you can look at these different scriptures where it talks about in other scriptures basically the same thing that it's talking about in this prophecy. It's talking about like at the very end of the tribulation, or well, the middle of the tribulation, right before the vials of wrath is poured out. And then we will all be dwelling in the New Jerusalem with all the Israel that gets saved. But anyway, but that's what I seen, and it's just the Lord trying to tell us that it's coming soon, and it has to do with the fig tree. And if you look in Matthew 24, it talks about, it says, "Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh." Otherwise, that summer fruit is fixing to put forth, and it's still tender. It doesn't quite have the fruit yet, but it's just its tender state. And it says, "So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation," talking about the fig tree generation, "when its branch is tender and put forth leaves, says, shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." And it's talking about the things that he's talking about is all this stuff up here that he told them that would happen during all the birth pains up here, and then going into the first and second half of the tribulation, the end of days tribulation. So, and he talks about that fig tree. And then if you go over to in Isaiah chapter 2, and it says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow to it." It's talking about whenever Israel gets restores, and it's saying it's the last days. It's talking about that generation, because Israel went home and they're establishing, and there will be a third temple that'll be built up there. And it says, and that would not happen without Israel being there. It says, "And many shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways." And many nations go to Israel, has went in the last 76 years to go up there, just to even stand next to the Temple Mount. It says, "And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." Otherwise, it's going to, whenever that temple is built and all this stuff happens in the end days, God's going to do away with war in the end. There won't be none after that. It says, "O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they were replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers." It's talking about them going and serving other gods and stuff like that. And there's a lot of Jewish peoples that even claim that they're atheists now, which is sad, around the world. And but it goes in and talks about right down here. It says, "Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for fear of the Lord, for the glory of his majesty." It says, "The lofty looks of men shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down." It's talking about mankind here. It says, "And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low." And it says, "And upon all the cedars of Lebanon." Who are they fighting right now? Lebanon right now, probably about an hour and a half ago, started sending in so many rockets into Israel. It's not even on the news yet, but I have the red alert that Israel has, I have it on my phone, that they have on all their phones. And it lets you know all the missiles and foreign aircraft and all that stuff that comes through Israel, that's of the enemies of Israel. And it lets me know, and they've been under real heavy rocket fire for about the last hour and a half, or almost 2 hours, because it started about 4:30 our time. It says, "And upon the high mountains and upon the hills that are lifted up, upon every high tower, upon every fenced wall, upon all the ships of Tarshish," which it talks about in other scriptures. I think in Daniel talks about the ships of Tarshish too. I'd have to look it up exactly where it's at in the Bible. And it says, "And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And the idols he shall utterly abolish. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth, for fear of the Lord, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. And it even goes down here and it says it again, confirming it again, to go into the clefts of the rocks and in the top of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Lord, for the glory of his majesty, when he shall arise to shake terribly the earth. And this right here, this is talking about seal 6. It's talking about seal 6 in the book of Revelations. Because if you go over here, let me shut this down. Hang on a minute. If you go over here to seal 6. Oh, I think I just messed up. Yeah, I did. Okay, hang on. Let me grab it this way. Let's go over here in 5. And seal 6, or Revelation 6. Right here. And I beheld when he opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. That's shaking the earth. It's a great one. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs. Otherwise, the figs were just starting to form. They weren't ripe yet. When she is shaken of a mighty wind. It says, and heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain and island was moved out of their places from it shaking so bad. It says, and all the kings of the earth, and great men, rich men, and chief captains, and mighty men, and every bondsman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us. Hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? It's talking about them crawling into the holes in the rocks of the mountains to hide them, because that's what a den is. It's basically a hole in the side of a mountain. A cavern. A hiding place or resort, cave, den. It's like a hole in the side of a mountain, like the old prophet said in Isaiah. So, I mean, we're getting close. God is revealing that we're getting close. He's saying, keep an eye on that fig tree and the figs, because summer is nigh. And he said, whenever we start seeing these things, to look up, because our redemption is drawing nigh. We're fixing to see some crazy stuff happening over in the Middle East. So just keep an eye on what's going on and keep watching. You'll be hearing probably about it on the news here in a little bit, because I didn't get off till 5 o'clock, but I seen them rockets start falling at 4:30. And I had that dream at 4:30 this morning. It was whenever I woke up from that dream, seeing that platter of summer fruit. So just keep your eyes open, keep watching, and keep praying. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem, the peace that only God can, Christ can give them. That's the peace that they need more than anything, is the peace of Christ. That peace that him and the Spirit gives you. But anyway, I love all of y'all, and continue to watch and pray like the Lord, like Jesus instructed us to do. He said it over and over again all throughout the New Testament, to watch and pray. But I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all again soon.